Right folks, we're going to take a look at Foundry. Foundry is a smart contract development toolkit similar to Hard Hat. It's for compiling, deploying and testing smart contracts. It's written in Rust, so it's very fast. Unlike Hard Hat, where you switch from doing your smart contracts in Solidity back to JavaScript for your testing and your deployment, Foundry uses Solidity throughout, so you're always working with Solidity. Installation is fairly straightforward. Go to getfoundry.sh website. There's a curl command there. You run the curl command. That will install Foundry up command into your CLI, and then when you run Foundry up, it will install Foundry proper, which has 4 tools in it called Forge, Anvil, Cast, and Chisel. I'm going to create a new project. There's a CD in here to a folder I already have. I'm going to make a directory called, I'll just call it Foundry Basics. We CD into Foundry Basics. That was clear. Okay, and within here I am going to do Forge init. This will initialize a new Foundry project into Foundry Basics, and there we go. That's done in there. Clear. I will just open the folder here. Here we go, Foundry Basics. So you'll see over here on the left hand side there's some template files that have come in. Your main, it's just a little template file. It's a counter contract here. It's very straightforward. You'll also see that there's tests there. It's counter.t.sol, it's a convention, and there's counter.s.sol, s being the convention for your scripts as well. Again, as you can see, everything is written in Solidity. I'm going to fire up Anvil, which is your local blockchain, similar to Ganache. And as you can see, Anvil is up and running there, and there's 10 private keys and 10 accounts with it that you can use to deploy your scripts locally or deploy your smart contracts locally. I'm going to open a new bash here. Okay, so we're going to deploy that counter.sol contract to Anvil. I'll show you a few different ways to do it. The main one, Forge create. So Forge being the main command, create being the sub command, and then private key. We're going to pass in one of these private keys from within Anvil. So there we go. We grab that, paste it in, and then we're going to say within the source folder, get the counter .sol file, deploy the counter contract. So the counter contract and the counter.sol file within the source, and then that will deploy to Anvil. Okay, see there that deployed to the last digits in the contract address are 0AA3, and if you go into Anvil and we scroll down to the bottom, we see deployed. Sorry, contract created 0AA3. So there it is, deployed to Anvil. Clear that. Another way of doing it would be to create an env file. So create env. And over here on the left, you'll see the env file. You can put your environmental variables in here, like your private keys and stuff, or your Etherscan keys. Just check. It will, if you're running a Foundry project, it'll be in here. But just make sure that .env is excluded, so you don't want to push it up to GitHub or anything like that. So in the env, I'm going to create private key equals. I think I still have it saved. There we go. Okay. So again, it will be the same command. Before I do that, I'll have to load, make sure to do source.env, so that your env file variables are available in the command line. Let me go back here. So rather than pasting the private key directly in, we can do this. Just go. Spell it right. Private underscore key. And again, there we go. And 0512 is the end of the contract address. Go back into Anvil. 0512 is being deployed. One last way we'll do it is we will create a Makefile. And a Makefile over here on the left. Just a way to, it's a way to kind of group your commands that you're going to be working with all the time. So we'll just, first thing we'll do is include .env to ensure that it to ensure that it loads the environmental variables from here, so you can use your private key or whatever else you're going to be doing. And in here we just write down whatever we want. We call this whatever you want. I'm going to call it deploy, you can call it run or whatever. Next line, do an @ sign, and then we will copy this. It's going to be pretty similar to this, almost exactly the same. Copy that. All you need to do is wrap the words private key in that, and we'll save it. Now all you need to do is you make deploy. Again, it's deployed at the Anvil A6E0. A6E0. So that's 3 different ways to do it. It's kind of the same way, but one is by pasting your private key in, another one is by pulling it from the env file, and another one is having a Makefile to make it a bit simpler if you're going to be deploying the contract over and over. And as you go on, your Makefile will get more complicated as you're doing more complicated deployments and stuff like that. So that's just a brief overview of how to use, of how to set up, initialize a Foundry project and deploy to your local Anvil chain.